That was a good one. That's one of the best we've had so far. Normally the little wimpy things. Well done.
We can't have that, can we? Can't be having that.
No, we can't.
No.
Hello, I'm the Guitar Geek, and with me, I've got Aid from Orange.
Hello there.
Good morning. Do you want to do the fake handshake that people do when they do on the interviews? Yeah. And they tell me at Orange that you're the technical director.
Well, that's what they call me.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure, you know, I just design stuff.
Ah.
You know? Yeah, technical director. Yeah. No, I design stuff.
So you're the ideas man?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
So so the amps start with you and end up with people like me?
Well, that's the idea, yeah.
We've got the Rock Reverb 50 behind you.
That's it, yeah.
Is that some of you in there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of mine, yeah.
What else have you, what's the latest stuff you're working on?
Oh, we've got a few bits in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Some smaller amps, you know. We got... Charlie, am I allowed to tell anyone about the new product? Am I allowed to do carrot, little carrot? It's orange, carrot.
A little nugget?
Little carrot is orange. So, yeah. So, you know, we've got a 1x12 combo coming out. Probably around the time of NAMM. A little bit different for us. Much cleaner.
Right.
All tube. As in, all tube effects loop.
Just tubes everywhere.
Well, a lot of amps that say they're tube are actually hybrid. If you think about it, even some big boutique amps, the effects loop is solid state.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bit naughty.
There's very few tube amps that have got a tube effects loop.
And yours is going to have one.
All our tube amps have a tube effects loop.
Well, you say that...
I like to keep the solid state amps solid state. There's nothing wrong with solid state amps.
Certainly not.
You know, they do what they do, and there's some good solid state amps. But it's all down to trade description, really.
Yeah.
So if we do a tube amp, it's a tube amp, you know.
It's like if I'm going out as the Guitar Geek and I review a mandolin or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not quite to that extent, but... You know, it's yeah, our stuff is all, our tube stuff is tube. You know, tube effects loop, tube preamp, tube output stage, you know, tube driven reverbs. I've got a new one with a tube tremolo.
Nice.
So yeah, tube tremolo, tube effects loop, tube reverb, tube preamp, tube output stage.
Sounds exciting.
You
now,
know.
you say that the new one's going to be a little cleaner.
Yeah, it's a non-master volume.
Okay.
You know, with tube tremolo and tube reverb.
That sounds good because I'm a big lover of tremolo and tube tremolo.
Yeah.
We've been using the.
But you can switch between the speeds on it
right.
as well. You can set up 2 speeds. You've got 2 speed controls, and you can toggle between them with a foot switch. Nice.
So you can you set the speeds on the amp and then live?
Yeah, you can toggle between them.
That's cool.
Yeah, just with one of our regular foot switches, you know. So another amp I've got is called the Pedal Baby, that's a solid state amp. That is 100% solid state amp. It's not Class D. It's quite small. It looks like a little. It's about that deep, sort of. About that wide.
Bigger than the lunchbox.
It's about just over 1 U.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, it's quite small. Height about that high, about that long. Goes back about that far, and that is a Class AB solid state output stage.
Nice.
And a Class A preamp.
Okay, so
solid state,
we're really talking.
Class
it's
A.
a guitar amp, then it's not just.
Well, it's Class A. It's also the preamp's all single-ended. All it's got is volume, bass, and treble, and it's quite neutral, so that it doesn't skew the upper mids as much as a guitar amp would. So if you got like a pedal board, and you're wanting to do a fly-in show, and there's cabs on the stage that are already hiding from a backline company, you can pop it in your case, fly out, whack it on top, and it will do 75 watts into 16 ohms, 100 watts into 8.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of the Class D ones. Will only make the full power into 4 ohms.
Exactly.
And the power are halved by the maths every time you double the impedance.
And I've noticed that they're marketing.
See, so
certain companies are marketing at 100 watt amps at 4 ohms. You know.
Exactly. So, but how many 4 ohm guitar cabs do you see at a festival?
I would say 8 is the sort of the standard, and 16, and then you really bring in that volume down, that wattage, that power.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's exciting.
you know, so that's designed really for that, and it's a bit more neutral in the way that you can obviously take some bottom off and add some treble if you want it more guitar amp like, you know, and it will get a little bit of hair towards the end of the volume treble, depending on how much you're pushing into it as well. But it is very clean.
So is it kind of linear, sort of, in the EQ?
It's slightly skewed, obviously for guitar, but it is a lot flatter than most guitar amps. So it will, you know, a pedal board with some good drives on it will sound really ballsy. Do you know what I mean? At any volume, you know, they'll have that weight to them, that push that you get, you know. So yeah, I mean, it works really well for that. You know, because the front end's Class A, completely Class A. If you turn the volume all the way up and the treble all the way up, in fact everything all the way up, put your ear to the speaker, nothing. Not a dicky bird.
So, as in noise?
Yeah, totally quiet. So the only noise you're going to hear through this is the noise coming off your pedal board.
Aid, I'm going to need to try that.
There you go. It's not going to be expensive either. It's going to be sub 400 quid. Yeah.
So we're using the word affordable now. This is the new word I've learned.
There you go.
Affordable.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's great.
So we're not sure if we're going to put the prefix 75 or whether we're going to do 100. But the name is actually going to be called the Pedal Baby.
That's awesome. We've got a pedal board here for this jump out. And is it kind of the same size as that? It's from what you're describing. Would it fit?
It's probably those two pedals.
And could you,
about that high.
You could put it on a pedal board, think you?
You probably could, yeah. You got a big donut transformer because it's a linear transformer. It's a Class A B output stage.
Right.
So I'm not a fan of Class D for guitar. It just tends to sound a little bit cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you can get some power, but it just doesn't. This is a lot more. If you do push into it, you get some more. You know, it's not a tube amp, it's a solid state amp, but it leans more towards that a softer overload, you know, a smoother overload, you know, if you do push into it. But it'll get, I mean, it's very loud.
Cool,
you know?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's one thing. And we've got another product which is called the Bass Butler.
Okay.
Which is a preamp. And that's based on a friend of mine who he actually plays keys in Muse, but he played bass in the Who at the Olympics closing.
Cool.
Called Morgan Nichols, and it was designed for him. And he just said, you know, I gave him a compressor to try, and he was saying, I've got some ideas, and his rig is a couple of sound system 4x10s, a power amp, compression going to the bottom end, and then he's got like a 50 watt Jubilee, and he's got a 2x12 cab with G12H's, and that's his top end, and he brings that in on a volume pedal. And so the idea was to try and get that in a preamp.
Okay,
you know,
so all in one.
Yeah, like the size of sort of Bax Banjita sort of size, really, kind of thing. And that'd be UK built as well.
Really?
Yeah, and it's got. Well, so what you got on the clean side, the bottom end side, you've got a compressor, an optical compressor, and you've got bottom and top, and then you've got level. And in the top end side, you've got volume, bass, middle, treble, and gain. And the actual stomp switch kicks the top end in and out.
Awesome.
So the bottom end is always here because it's a preamp.
Yeah.
And then you've got two balanced outs. You've got one for the bottom end and one for the top end. And they've got, the bottom's got the clean side's got a bass cab sim on it. on that, going to the balanced out, and the top end channel has got like a guitar cab sim going to that XLR, so you can send them both feeds out to the monitor guy on stage, and then whatever amp you've got on the stage, you've got a mixer out which is on a jack which hasn't got cab sim.
Okay.
And then you send that to the amp on the stage. So you've got an SV10 and 8x10 on there, hired in or whatever, you know. So you can send that for your monitor, and then you send the 2 XLR feeds off to.
So it's like a voiced DI boxer to a certain extent, but it gives you control.
Well, you get the whole sound of that rig through the PA.
Yeah, through a simple XLR.
Yeah, through 2 XLRs, and you've got 2 feeds. So if you're recording the show, you've got both feeds. So that can be mixed. You can blend what you know, your top end in with your bottom end. And see, I noticed a lot of the stuff that's out there that does the biamp thing. The drive tends to be a bit of an afterthought. Like, there's drive there, you know.
You just throw it in at the end.
Yeah, and you know, drive for bass has to be really carefully voiced. You've got to really tighten up the bottom end on the way in early on, you know, it's got to be super tight. And a lot of people, you know, it's breaking up on the bottom, which is not what you want, because you'll get that if you just crank a bass amp anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a bit pointless.
That's true distortion, it's unwanted, isn't it?
Well, for some people want that.
Okay.
You know, so that's fine. It's obviously each to their own, but I wanted to do something that it doesn't sound necessarily distorted, even though there's a load of gain in it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the bottom end's so clean, and you've got the compression which helps the bottom end. It keeps the notes nice and even, and gives you that sort of push. You know, without getting in the way of the mix of everyone else. You know, it doesn't eat into the guitars. You know, or you can hit that to add energy to the song for choruses. You know, you can bring the top end in, and you could also bring the top end in early on in the gain structure using an expression pedal. There's an expression on the thing, so you can use an expression pedal as a volume pedal just for the top end.
So you can bring it in and out.
So you can do it early, so it will change the gain of the top end then, and not the level. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's called the Bass Butler, and that's going to be coming out at some point.
Cool.
It's a preamp, you know, bass preamp.
Nice.
You can use it to record bass. You don't have to use both outputs if you don't want to. You can just use the top end and use it as a guitar preamp for recording. You know, you got your balanced outs right there, and you can get quite a good guitar sound on that channel. You know, it's got loads of gain. It'll go from just starting to break up through to stupid. So, you know, or you can use the bottom end channel, and that can get a nice clean chime, you know, with a bit of compression there and stuff, depending on how you set the bass and treble. And then you've got the cab sim there, so you can use that on its own. So you can use it in so many different ways. I just found the stuff that's on the market, there's even one box that distorts the bottom end and keeps the top end clean, which to me just doesn't, it sounds weird. Because what I was going for was kind of the kind of thing that John Entwistle used to get, you know. He used to use the Sun amps for the top end, and the big acoustic rigs with all the subs and the bass bins for the bottom end. So he'd use like Shepperton, you know, he'd used massive amounts of amplification, but he was one of the first people to do that thing. He liked the harmonics he'd get off the guitar amps. Awesome. So he'd be using the Suns for that,
so
and then he'd be using
he
was one of the first people to do that, you see. So you know, that's kind of what I was trying to get, that in a preamp. You know,
exciting.
And obviously the rest is what you do this end with it, you know.
Not much in my case.
Well, that's, you know, obviously it still lets all that through, because that's the business end. You know, it's what's happening here is the business end, you know. So that's another product.
I was talking to Charlie earlier. He said you had a story about being shot at in LA.
Yeah, well, you know, there was this. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that now. This was many moons ago. You know, it's one of the few times I tried to live there. But this was a volatile time. You know, back then.
Okay.
You know.
So for another time then, Ed.
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a lot more gentrified now.
Okay.
You know, downtown LA used to be a lot more dangerous than it is now. I was there a few weeks ago, and it's a different place now. It's so much. It's actually quite nice now, downtown LA.
Cool.
You know, it's quite. There's even a place that does good coffee.
No.
In downtown LA. Yes, there's a stand that does a decent macchiato. You know.
Well, we've had several exclusive.
It used to be just Bernie Grumman mastering. Now it was the only place I knew that would do. They had to have their own espresso machine, and so I always send stuff there because I do mastering as well, and I've got my own mastering business, and I always send my bigger clients there to get their lacquers cut because he's got these two Scully lathes. One's running solid state, cutting head amplifier, and the other one's running valve. So he uses the valve for jazz. Right. You know, and classical, and he's got the solid state for rock and pop. You know, so and the cutter heads he uses are beefed up. They got bigger magnets and stuff, and they get those made locally. And there's nothing can touch their lacquer cutting. You know, and you got Chris Bellman there, who's great as well. You know, so I always send the maiden stuff there to be cut for vinyl. You know.
Awesome.
And yeah, I wouldn't really use anywhere else myself. But yeah, they got this espresso machine in the reception, and he gets this coffee sent in from Italy, and it's one of the few places that you could get a really good cup of coffee. There you go.
You heard
Sorry,
it here
Bernie,
first.
there's going to get a load of people coming through your door asking for espresso now, and that's my fault. Sorry about that. But there you go. I thought I'd give you a shout anyway.
We've got Henning staring at us with an evil look in his eye.
Has he?
Yeah.
He couldn't look evil if he tried,
No,
could
well,
he?
he's attempting it.
He couldn't. Is he trying to look evil? Are you trying to look evil?
Andy.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
They need you.
Where?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Okay.
You just want me out of this room?
Like, my pants are... Ooh, there's vibration in my pants. Wait.
You shit myself, have you?
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
I gotta go.
that's me.
I gotta go.
We gotta go as well, Ed.
Don't laugh. Him shit himself.
Ed, we're gonna have to roll this up, and
Okay,
I want to say
one.
thanks for your time, man.
Cool. Cheers.
Yeah, just walk out the screen. Brilliant.
Nice one.
Okay, come back. This is Ade from Orange. I'm the Guitar Geek. I hope we hear more from you in the future, and I'm going to go to LA just for a cup of coffee.
There you go.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, let's crank the AC.